Good afternoon. For those of you just coming in, I'm including a link to the slides for today's presentation in the chat box. If you're trying to access that, they are available. That information is available in the chat box. I'm going to go ahead and get started. My name is Courtney Neubauer, and I'm going to provide an update on Cmp Operations. So this is our nutrition support monthly call, and today is April Fool's Day, April 1st. We know that this is also the last day that many of you are in school before the spring break. So we appreciate you taking the time to join us today, and hopefully we'll get some rest and relaxation over the next week and hopefully a few days off. So today, our agenda, we will discuss the Believe to Achieve mission from the Department of Education, the Child Nutrition Emergency Cost Guidance, a summary of our oversight plan, training updates, some COVID-19 waiver reminders, and then also some other program updates. So Believe to Achieve, the department has recently released the Believe to Achieve educational priorities. This priority plan serves as the department's roadmap to improving outcomes for all of Louisiana's children. Believe to Achieve includes the department's new belief statements, state data to help track progress toward Louisiana's 6 critical goals, and the new priorities that will direct the LDOE's efforts as they work toward achieving the critical goals. Each priority outlines focus areas for the key actions and initiatives. If you want to go to this link that's on this slide, it will take you to the Believe to Achieve Educational Priorities document. You can see our that Louisiana believes children are our highest priority, families are our partners, educators are valued professionals, graduates must be ready, equity matters, choice expands opportunities, schools are invaluable to communities, and our future is bright. This document also has some great data on our schools that you may find beneficial. So when you get some time, please refer to this document for information from the department and the priorities of the Louisiana Department of Education. Next, we'll talk about the Child Nutrition Emergency Cost Guidance. This is definitely very exciting. So USDA did publish guidance and questions and answers regarding the Child Nutrition Program Emergency Operational Cost Program. The initial information was released back in January. USDA is offering additional funds to state agencies administering the National School Lunch, School Breakfast Program, and CACFP to provide eligible program operators with additional reimbursements and for emergency operating costs that were incurred during the public health emergency. Eligible program operators will not be required to submit an application to receive the funds. We did post memo SFS 21-83 that provided an overview of the guidance and questions and answers that were released by USDA. Additionally, most recently, USDA also released an implementation guidance plan or plan guidance for the implementation plan and additional questions and answers. And these are a memo SFS 21-X116 for the implementation plan guidance and memo SFS 21-X117, which is the second questions and answers. And once again, this just as a reminder, you will not be required to submit an application to receive the funds. The funds will be distributed according to the formula prescribed by USDA. So the state agency is currently working to compute those calculations based on claims filed. So all of the data that will be utilized to determine the eligible program providers and the amounts to be issued is based on claims that have already been submitted. So there is nothing that needs to be done by the sponsors or school systems. We will be doing that at the state level. Additionally, our implementation plan is due to USDA by May 10th. So we are working diligently to get that plan in to USDA before that deadline. We did submit our initial application on the emergency cost guidance to USDA and received approval for that actually Sunday. So we are on track with this the plan with the emergency cost guidance, and as more information is available, we'll provide that out to you. But do know that we are working on those calculations, and we'll meet the deadline for providing the implementation plan to USDA. Our state oversight plan. So we've mentioned this multiple times, but we were required by USDA to submit a state oversight plan. We did have our plan approved in December. According to USDA, if the NSLP was not operating, then the administrative reviews could not count toward the administrative review requirement for the review cycle. So we postponed all of our administrative reviews that were originally scheduled for school year 2021. At this time, we don't have guidance as to what back to school will look like for 21-22. So I know that's a very important question that most of you have in your minds. You're trying to make plans for next school year, but at this time, we don't have plans from USDA for next school year. So once again, as a reminder, SFAs that were scheduled for an administrative review in school year 2021, they've received technical assistance. The reviews have been postponed until 21-22. Reviews that were originally planned for school year 21-22 will now occur in school year 22-23. The participation in the technical assistance cohorts was mandatory for all of our SFAs that were originally scheduled for review in school year 2021. And if an SFA did not participate in the required technical assistance, an AR would need to occur in the month of April 2021. And then that same SFA will receive another review next year that will be counted toward the administrative review requirement. So the participation in these cohorts was mandatory. So training updates. Training registration for all of our LDOE trainings has returned to the Louisiana Fit Kids. So by now, I think we've all figured out that registration is the same as it was for the in-person trainings. After the training, each participant should complete a questionnaire or an evaluation. Once you complete the evaluation, you'll receive a follow-up email confirming your attendance, training hours received, and the training codes. Registration for the April and May trainings are now open on Louisiana Fit Kids, and the training slides and recorded videos are also posted to Louisiana Fit Kids. So I wanted to just briefly show you how to get to these training documents. So if you go to the Louisiana Fit Kids website and go under training and go down to training slides, you can click on the slides from past presentations. So this is the civil rights training that was conducted earlier this week. And also, if there are videos available for particular presentation, you will also see down here that it says video, and you can click on that and it will take you to the Louisiana Fit Kids YouTube channel, which hosts all of the trainings that we were able to record through Zoom. So it's just an example from the summer feeding training. Additionally, when a training is complete, if you will return to the calendar where you sign up for the trainings, you can click on the training that you're attending. So I'll just go look at the civil rights one. So if you would have attended the civil rights training on Tuesday, you can click on that training and you'll see that there's a link here that says click here to complete the evaluation for the meeting. That's where you would click to complete the evaluation to receive credit for attending these trainings. And the same thing will occur here for the one that's today once the training is complete. So once you do finish today's training, please go to this calendar and click on today's training, and you'll look for that same line that I just showed you on the civil rights training, and you can access the evaluation to get credit for this meeting. Our upcoming virtual trainings. So registration is now open for the April trainings. We originally had a hurricane preparedness training that was scheduled for April 7th. That has now been rescheduled and it will be hosted in May. And I'll have the date on the next slide. Additionally, we have SFSP, so Summer Food Service Program for returning sponsors. That is on April the 13th at 12:30. We have our school food service training on food service management company contracts. And that is going to be on April 15th at 1 o'clock. The summer food service training for prospective new sponsors is April 20th at 12:30. We also have our school food service training, part of the procurement series on micro and small purchase. And that is on April 22nd at 1 o'clock. And we have our school food service training on production records and whole grains, which will be April 28th at 1 o'clock. You can refer to Louisiana Fit Kids, and you can see memo SFS 21-X122 to see all of these trainings. And the registration is done through the calendar that I just showed you on the last slide. Once again, make sure that you're completing those evaluations after the program is done, and the evaluation will remain up for 1 week. So do make sure you get those evaluations completed so you can receive credit for attending. Our May trainings are also open. We will have a memo coming soon regarding the May trainings, but we have SFS training hurricane preparedness, which is on May 4th at 1 o'clock. This is a new date. This was originally scheduled for April the 7th. Our May monthly call will be on May 6th at 1 o'clock. The school food service training on paid lunch equity will be May 11th at 1 o'clock. And then our school food service part of the training series, so an overview and series recap, will be on May 27th at 1 o'clock. Manager training. So this is also coming. So manager training will be offered virtually, and it begins April the 13th. Registration information is also on Louisiana Fit Kids. Also, if there are directors that may want to request manager training for their SFA or a combination of nearby SFAs, that can be done. It is at no cost to the SFA. It's a minimum of 10 participants. It can be virtual or in person, and the schedule can be customized. So you can refer to the link here if you want to register for having the manager training hosted at your district. You also can see the memo here, the memo SFS 21-92. And if you have questions about manager training, you can contact Melissa Campbell. So as we're coming to the close of this school year, we're all thinking about summer. So summer manager training will be offered as well. Registration information is posted on Louisiana Fit Kids. The training dates are going to be June 14th through 17th and also July 26th through 29th. And that information is in memo SFS 21-X112. So we're very excited about this other training that will be coming soon as well. So this is the Understanding Childhood Obesity webinar series. So this is a Department of Education and Pennington Biomedical Research Center hosted event. Part 1 will be on April 21st at 1:30. Registration is on Louisiana Fit Kids, and I've also linked the program flyer here for more details. If you are interested in that, refer to the program flyer, which is available in this presentation, and you can also get to that same information on Louisiana Fit Kids. We also recently posted some new team nutrition training resources. So the Team Nutrition Initiative announced the availability of 3 new slide presentations that highlight team nutrition resources. So the titles are Team Nutrition School Meals Resources, Team Nutrition CACFP Resources, and Team Nutrition Summer Meals Resources. And you can see memo SFS 21-X114 for more information on these new team nutrition resources. They're really, really great presentations. So if you have some time, please refer to those. They would be great training resources for your staff. Other training resources that we have available, so CN Resource has a learning library. They have recordings of all of the administrative review technical assistance cohorts. So if you are a SFA that may not have attended the cohorts, you weren't in that review cycle for this year, or you were an SFA that attended and you really want to listen to those presentations again, they're all available on the CN Resource Learning Library. There's also additional resources there on local school wellness policies, grain and meat crediting, non-program revenue tool, procurement, civil rights, and many, many more. We also have our Louisiana Department of Education recorded training. So we've recorded most of the PowerPoints and they are on page 10 of resources. And I've already showed you also where you can get to the training slides on Louisiana Fit Kids and also any of the videos that may have been recorded through Zoom trainings that will be located there as well. The COVID-19 waiver update. So these waivers listed here, so 73 through 81, basically extended the waivers through summer operations. So this focused on meal patterns. So meal pattern flexibilities for summer 2021 was very specific and only for seamless summer operations. So the anticipation by USDA is that there will be no problems meeting the meal pattern for summer food service program in this summer 2021. So if there are problems with meeting meal pattern, it would be specific to seamless summer, since that follows the National School Lunch Meal Pattern. And so the meal pattern waiver is specific to that program. In addition, the non-congregate feeding waiver, the parent pickup waiver, the area eligibility waiver, meal service time flexibility, all for versus serve, area eligibility, and first week waiver of the monitoring visits, all of those have been released and cover summer 2021. These waivers are specific for summer 2021 operations only. USDA has been clear that seamless summer and summer feeding can only be used in the summer, can only be used until the school year begins. So right now, once the school year begins, SFSPs cannot use seamless summer or summer feeding during the regular school year. So even though these waivers extend through September 30th, if school begins on August 9th, you would no longer be able to utilize these waivers after August 9th. So once the school year begins, these waivers could not be utilized no matter what date you would be returning to school. So we are still waiting on school year guidance. And at this point, we do not have any guidance on how the school year will look or what waivers will be available. But these particular waivers, although they have an expiration date of September 30th, are for summer operations only and cannot be used once the school year begins. So just as a reminder, we also have the nationwide waiver that allows summer food service through this school year, 2021. And so we're gearing up to end this school year. And there are 4 questions and answers that surround those flexibilities and what has been allowed up to this point. So please refer to the waiver and approvals list on our website for more information. So if you've never gone to this link, please do. So this will take you to a summary of all the COVID-19 waivers. They are organized by expiration date, and they also are in the same list by topic. So if it's a non-congregate waiver, they're all lumped together, and all of the waivers that have been released thus far are all kept here. So please refer to this. We do keep this updated. By now we are well into the 80s for waivers, so it gets really confusing. So this is a great resource to use to keep track of waivers. So community eligibility provision. This is the only waiver that has been released thus far related to school year 21-22. So what this waiver did was extended the deadlines for reporting for community eligibility. So normally our data used to calculate the identified student percentage is as of April 1st. This now, the deadline, the waiver deadline is you can use data anytime between July 1, 2020 and June 30th, 2021. So any date in the current school year can use to calculate the identified student percentage. Do note whatever date you use to determine identified students, both the identified students and the enrollment need to be as of that date. The notification, so normally we have that report that is due in our system, the data collection, and it has to be completed by April 15th. The deadline is now June 30th. So we anticipate opening our website a little bit later, so sometime around the beginning of May, and for you to enter that information. So the elections are usually, they need to be completed by June 30th. The deadline for this year is September 30th, 2021. So this waiver, what does it mean? It means by June 15th, 2021, SFAs must submit their population data form and the CEP worksheet through the Child Nutrition website. The identified student percentage may be calculated using data drawn anytime between July 1st, 2020 and June 30th, 2021. By September 30th, 2021, SFAs must make final elections regarding CEP participation for school year 21-22. If needed, you can resubmit the population data form and the identified student percentage would still need to be calculated using data drawn anytime between July 1 and June 30th. And we did post memo SFS 21-X118, which is the actual waiver, and then memo SFS 21-X124, which was released yesterday, is basically a summary of this waiver, kind of explaining exactly what this waiver means. One of the questions that we often get is regarding the CEP Grace Year. And so I thought this was a good opportunity to really explain what the Grace Year means. So a school food authority or school that is in their 4th year of CEP and has an identified student percentage in that 4th year of less than 40%, but more than 30%, and they're using that data as of July 1, 2020 and June 30th, 2021, can continue in CEP for 1 year. This would give you an opportunity to restore eligibility status without immediately returning to standard counting and claiming, and avoid disrupting the universal meal service to students. Reimbursement in that grace year is based on the identified students of the data that you pulled between July 1st and June 30th. So grace year is not a continuation of CEP at a previously established identified student percentage. It is simply a year allowing you to participate in CEP below 40%, because normally you're not eligible for CEP if you have an ISP below 40%, but it's allowing you 1 year to participate with that lower ISP and to try to get better numbers for the following year. So just want to make sure this is very clear that a grace year in CEP is not a 5th year of that previously established identified student percentage. So we have many school systems that are currently in their 4th year, especially if you're one of those school systems that elected CEP following the flood of August 2016. A lot of you are in your 4th year, and so you're thinking about what that means. And I just want to make sure that there's a good understanding of what that grace year means, so that you're not thinking that you're just getting another year with the current percentages that you're utilizing. So you would have to use the data from July 1 to June 30th to determine if you're eligible for that grace year. And you would have to use that identified student percentage for next school year for meal claiming. Other program updates. So pandemic EBT or PEBT. So the department recently contacted each SFA to gather information regarding school operations. So DCFS had asked for assistance in obtaining monthly data by school site, starting with the beginning of the 2021 school year through what is anticipated for the remainder of the school year. And this was to ensure that all qualified students would potentially receive benefits. To ensure these students do receive benefits, DCFS is planning to implement PEBT using a direct certification method through data matching to allow direct issuance of benefits to eligible households. So the plan is for there not to be an application process or actions by the families. And our data request that was sent by LDOE was to assist DCFS with their initial application. So once they have submitted that application and been approved, there will be more information that is sent out to school systems. But at this time, DCFS is working on their initial application to USDA regarding that program. So I'm sure more information will be coming, but just wanted to give you a heads up on kind of where we are with that particular project. Meal applications. I know we're getting to the end of the school year, but don't forget processing meal applications. So you should continue to accept free and reduced price meal applications throughout this school year. If you're at a school that's not CEP or not originally participating in CEP this school year. Although schools may have transitioned to summer or seamless summer, school meal applications may still be used to establish PEBT eligibility. And so you should still ask for families to complete those applications. Direct certification. So regardless of operational status, all national school lunch participating SFAs are expected to conduct direct certification with SNAP as required by the federal regulations. We are still running SNAP matches monthly through eScholar Direct Match. And the February SNAP record is available. That was SFS 21-96, and I would expect that March will be available very soon. eScholar update. So this is really, really exciting. So we have worked really closely with eScholar on a project that will improve our matching system for school year 21-22. So the updates will go live for school year 21-22. The improved systems will allow schools to match student enrollment based on other program records to determine eligibility. So we will be looking beyond just SNAP records. So the updated system will support SNAP as well as TANF, foster care, migrant, DC extended, your homeless kids, and will also have an ability to do manual matching. So the system will even run an address match using SNAP data or other program data to help identify students. So this is really, really great. We had a meeting this week with the non-public school systems to get all non-public schools utilizing the eScholar Secure ID portal, which most of our public schools are already utilizing. So this is a really great project, but in the next couple of weeks and months, we will be reaching out for some assistance in testing some of this, and we will be formulating a training schedule. So we'll be reaching out to be able to provide this information for you as we gear up for next school year, but just there more information to come as available. The income eligibility guidelines have been released for school year 21-22. These guidelines are effective from July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2022. And these are the guidelines for free and reduced price meals. And we have a copy posted, and that is memo SFS 21-X108. As a reminder, our pre-approved equipment list has been updated. That's posted as memo SFS 21-87. If any equipment is not on that list, then you must complete the state agency pre-approved equipment form, and that is linked here. So when you access the copy of the slides, if you need to refer to that, it is linked here, and you would send that pre-approval form to our child nutrition programs at la.gov email address. to note, walk-in coolers and freezers are not on the pre-approval equipment list, so you will have to send a pre-approval form before the purchase of such equipment. We tried to get those items added to the a pre-approved list, but USDA was clear in that since often those items require additional construction, that each purchase would need to be vetted by the state agency before approving those purchases. So that is why you don't see walk-in coolers and freezers on the pre-approval list. Procurement update. So as a reminder, on March 2nd, Governor John Bel Edwards did renew the state of emergency for COVID-19 in Proclamation 30 JBE 2021. This proclamation included the suspension of the Louisiana public bid law and allowed emergency procurement of goods and services necessary to respond to the COVID-19 emergency. This proclamation extended the provisions until March 31st, 2021. March 31st, 2021 was yesterday. So as of March 31st, 2021, or yesterday, the emergency proclamation has not been extended. We are watching for that possibly to be extended, but at this point in time, the emergency proclamation that suspended the public bid law and allowed for emergency procurement, that has not been extended, and it expired yesterday. So as our state begins to reopen, you should be returning to following normal standard procurement guidelines, because at this time we don't know if the procurement standards will be suspended in future proclamations. And as of now, it has not been included in the proclamation that would go into effect today. The deadline for food service management company contracts, the deadline for school food authorities to provide the state agency with those new contracts, and also the renewals for the 2021-22 school year is May 31st, 2021. You can refer to memo SFS 21-86. If the SFA will not be approved for participation in the summer food service program as of July 1st, 2021, if the state agency has not received and approved the food service management company contract. So the contract you're currently under expires June 30th, 2021, or at the end of the school year. So if a new contract or a renewal has not been received and approved by the state agency, we cannot approve the summer food service program applications that would start July 1 or later without an approved contract or renewal. As a reminder, offering meals across multiple programs is allowed, but you must make sure that your distribution plan ensures that duplicate meals are not served to any child for any day. National School Lunch After School Snack, or CACFP at-risk after-school meals, can be offered in schools operating Seamless Summer Food Service Program, or the traditional National School Lunch School Breakfast Program during the 2021 school year. If offering National School Lunch After School Snack and the Summer Food Service or Seamless Summer option, the maximum number of meals a child can receive per day is 3. That would be 1 breakfast and 1 lunch under either Seamless Summer or Summer Food Service, and also 1 snack, which would be under the National School Lunch After School Snack Program. If offering CACFP at-risk after-school meals and Seamless Summer or Summer Food Service, the maximum number of meals a child can receive per day is 4. That would be 1 breakfast and 1 lunch under Seamless Summer or Summer Feeding, and 1 snack and 1 supper under CACFP at-risk meals. Under no circumstances may children receive more than the number of reimbursable meals allowed in each program for which they are eligible. National School Lunch After School Snack, Summer Food Service Program, Seamless Summer option, and CACFP at-risk meals can be provided utilizing the non-congregate and mealtime flexibility waivers. Program enrichment and educational requirements have not been waived, but can be met by virtual means. It may be appropriate to offer activities that children can participate in without internet access. CACFP at-risk after-school meals. So we've linked here a document on the Louisiana Believes website, so our department website, an overview of the CACFP at-risk meals. So please refer to that for more information. After-school meals or snacks are provided to children at no charge. Schools are required to offer an education or enrichment program. And that the school, if the site is located in an attendance zone of a school where at least 50% of the children are eligible for reduced price meals, everybody gets free snacks. SFAs may contract with a vendor to provide meals, and we maintain a list on our website. This is constantly evolving. So we originally had very few, actually none, no providers on the list, and they're slowly adding that information in. So providers are finding the list and completing the information and sending that information to us, and we are getting that added to the list and posted on our website. USDA has confirmed in writing that the CACFP at-risk program must end when the school year ends. As we get information, we will definitely provide that out. But as of now, all of those waivers that have been released that covered summer only or summer or seamless summer only that go through September 30th, those only cover summer and seamless summer. So CACFP at risk must end when school year 2021 ends. So if your school year ends May 20th, then CACFP at-risk program would end on May 20th. So you cannot continue to operate the at-risk program after the school year ends. Fresh fruit and vegetable program. So this is a program that has been allowed to operate during the public health emergency in school systems that are operating summer or seamless summer. And USDA has confirmed that the fresh fruit and vegetable program cannot be used during summer operations. So you can only operate the fresh fruit and vegetable program until the end of the official 2020-2021 school year. So you cannot continue fresh fruit and vegetable into the summer months. Operating calendars. So please revise operating calendars if meals were not provided during school closures or if meals will be served over holiday breaks. And this applies to all programs. So do make sure that you're updating those calendars in your seamless your summer feeding application and also your CACFP application. Meals and snacks can be offered on holidays consistent with the summer food service, seamless summer, CACFP at-risk after-school regulations. And we've done that through Christmas and through Mardi Gras, and there's many school systems that are doing that through the spring break that's coming up soon. So a lot of systems are utilizing that flexibility that's allowed in those program regulations to serve over holidays. For any ongoing non-school site that's being proposed, that is not just going to be used during non-holiday times, you must submit the JOT form for each of the proposed feeding locations or grab-and-go sites. And that site information sheet is located on our homepage, but it's also linked in this presentation if you need it if you need to access that. So if you access the slides, you'll be able to link to that site information sheet from this presentation. SFA should start thinking about summer operations. So we did send out a survey to all of our SFAs. So it was a link that was provided in a memo. It was also provided at the beginning of this presentation. It was provided in the civil rights training, and it will also be a slide a little bit further in this presentation as well. So if you haven't already, please complete this survey about summer operations. Once again, you can contract with a vendor to provide meals. The department maintains a list of vendors currently providing services to provide the meals. So the vendor list is meant to provide meals only, so not any other services or labor. So mainly just meals is what the vendor list is meant to provide. Begin communicating with LDH regarding permits for non-school sites. And once again, USDA has confirmed in writing that the CACFP at-risk program and the fresh fruit and vegetable program must end when the school year ends. So you cannot operate the CACFP at-risk program or fresh fruit and vegetable after the school year ends through those summer months. Back to school guidance. So USDA has not released back to school guidance for school year 21-22 for any of our child nutrition programs. So we don't have information for National School Lunch, School Breakfast, Summer Feeding, or CACFP. Guidance is forthcoming. We hope that many of the uncertainties surrounding school year 21-22 will be addressed. And this includes a question that we've gotten often about virtual students. So we know that this year we had many students that were virtual students that were allowed to be fed. So under traditional guidelines and regulations of our programs are meant to be congregate feeding programs so that kids come on site and they eat meals, and we have never been able to service true virtual students through our programs. When this year happened and our traditional brick and mortar schools also had a subset of virtual kids, we know that we've been able to feed them through grab and go, through delivery. We don't know what will be allowed in next school year. So if traditional regulations were to return, we would not be able to feed those traditional virtual kids. It just says we had not done in the past. But without additional guidance from USDA, we just don't know what the next school year will look like, especially around virtual students and how those would be considered in next school year. As a reminder, none of the current waivers, except for the CEP deadlines, cover school year 21-22. So that means there are no current waivers for CACFP, National School Lunch, or School Breakfast, or any waivers that allow summer feeding or seamless summer to operate once the new school year begins. So right now, the only guidance we have is that fresh fruit and vegetables CACFP at risk would end when the school year ends, and the waivers that were released earlier regarding summer are strictly for summer operations. And once school year 21-22 begins, we currently have no waivers in place that are approved for those operations. And as soon as that information is released, we will provide that out to you. The National School Lunch, School Breakfast meal pattern. So I know this is something that's been talked about a few times. The meal pattern flexibilities have been removed effective this school year. The nutrition standards for the National School Lunch and School Breakfast program have returned to the 2012 final rule. With that, the meal pattern, all grains must be whole grain rich. Flavored milk may only be non-fat, and meals offered must meet target 2 weekly sodium levels beginning with school year 2021, and the final target met in school year 22-23. USDA did allow for temporary meal pattern flexibilities for the National School Lunch, School Breakfast program under the nationwide waivers related to COVID-19 for the current school year of 2021. But at this time, we don't have information as to what will happen moving forward. There is definitely some work and some talk among USDA of trying to bring some of those flexibilities back and making them permanent, but at this time, it's still very much unknown. So we are going with the fact that these waivers have been removed and that everything would need to return back to the 2012 final rule. Data sharing agreement and addendum. So all of our school food authorities must opt into a data sharing addendum that was executed by the Louisiana Department of Education programs. We just posted that this week in memo SFS 21-X121. We at the state agency have been going through a civil rights management evaluation by USDA, and these documents have come out of that particular management evaluation. And so that's why you're seeing these changes at this point in time, and why we're pushing them on to have the rest of you keep those on file as well. So these are updated records that have come from our civil rights ME by USDA. The other document that has been changed is the USDA program discrimination complaint form. So we have adopted the USDA complaint form, which replaces our previous discrimination complaint form that was used by SFAs. So we had a state agency prototype. We are now changing that, and we are moving to the USDA prototype that they have available. So this is what you will need to use and keep on file at all of your school sites. If someone needs to fill out the discrimination complaint form. So if they're wanting to file a complaint, you'll want to use this particular form. This form is in compliance with the USDA civil rights laws and regulations. And so please make sure that you provide this out to all of your school sites and instruct school staff to replace their previous discrimination forms with this version. And you also need to educate your staff on the procedure for filing complaints. So those complaints are still sent to USDA. We've just updated some forms to help make the process a little bit clearer. The 2021 Outstanding School Support Employee Award. So we are currently accepting applications or nominations for the 2021 Outstanding School Support Award. The deadline is April the 9th. So that's coming up very soon. Please email Dana, so dana.dozat@la.gov. And if you need additional information, it can be found at the link on this slide. Seeds to Success is the farm to school partnership between the Department of Education and LSU Ag Center. And they launched their website in the fall. They also mailed lettuce and radish seeds to all Louisiana schools in January of 2021, along with the Seeds to Success program information. And teachers can sign up to receive additional seeds along with greenhouse seed starter kits by registering on the Seeds to Success website. Also, as a reminder, Harvest of the Month and other farm to school resources such as School Guide for Local Food Purchasing are also available for you to download at the links on this slide. School Lunch Hero Day. So May 7th, 2021 is School Lunch Hero Day, and there are some great resources on the School Nutrition Association website to help celebrate our school lunch heroes. If there's any year to celebrate school lunch heroes, it's this year. So we know that our school staff, our school nutrition staff have gone above and beyond this school year to meet the needs of our students. We have really seen some amazing things happening in our schools. And so this is a great day to celebrate all the work that has gone into this year, and how great this team of nutrition experts have been with making this a year that our children have not had to go hungry. So this is really wonderful. Please celebrate your staff. This is a wonderful day for just everybody to realize how hard these staff members have worked throughout this entire year. Once again, just a reminder that this Summer Food Service Operations Survey is available. It is a memo, so memo SFS 21-X119. We are asking all school food authorities to complete the survey. You only need to complete the survey once. And even if you're not intending to have summer food service operations, we're still asking that you complete the survey. So please complete that for us by that deadline. The link's available here, but it's also in memo SFS 21-X119. Now going to open it up for questions. So if you have any questions, please post those in the chat box and I'll be happy to answer those questions. I see we do have a question about injustice for all posters. So if you need posters, so if you have new sites that don't have posters, we can mail you some posters. So you just contact us at childnutritionprograms@la.gov. We do not have an infinite number of posters, so please be respectful of the numbers you can, the numbers you ask for. So please make sure that you're not asking for so many that we will not have the ability to provide those out to other schools, other programs that may need posters as well. But if you do need posters for sites that may not have a poster, please contact us at childnutritionprograms@la.gov and we will provide posters out to you. I have just provided the link to the slides again in the chat box. So if you're trying to access the PowerPoint that was used today, the slides are available at the link provided. They're maintained in the archive on the Department of Education's website, and we will post those as well on our child nutrition website at the end of this presentation. So we will make sure that they get out either later today or tomorrow on our child nutrition website. If this last school year, so school year 2021 was intended to be your last year of CEP and you don't appear to requalify for CEP for next year, it's never too early to start notifying parents that you'll be moving to back to applications. So applications cannot be completed for the new school year until after July 1. So there's also some information on our website on when you're reverting back to traditional counting and claiming. There's a form. If you contact me, I'll find it for you. I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head, but there is a form on our website that kind of a letter that helps explain that transition that can be utilized as you move back to traditional counting and claiming from CEP. If there are any other questions, please put them in the chat box and I'd be happy to answer them. I know we've covered a lot of information today, trying to keep you as updated as possible. I know there's still a lot of unknowns as to what the next school year will look like, but hopefully we've provided at least enough information as to what's going on to date, and we will provide more as that's available. Once again, as a reminder, once this training is over, you can go back to Louisiana Fit Kids and you can go to the calendar. So under training, go to calendar, go to today, which is the April 1st, April Fool's Day, click on SFS Child Nutrition Programs Update, and there will be a link that says click here to complete the survey or the evaluation for today. Click there, complete that evaluation, and then you will get credit for for attending this training. You'll receive an email once that survey is received so that you will know how many hours this presentation will credit toward professional standards. It will be up there for, that survey will be available for a week. So do make sure that you get that completed before the end of the week so that you can get credit for attending this. So please make sure that you get that done. Looking to see if there's any other questions. So there's a question about waiver extensions for like multi-day bundling. So if we're talking about summer feeding operations, so where we've allowed the multi-day issuance of meals, that is utilizing both the mealtime flexibility and the non-congregate feeding. So the combination of those two waivers together are basically what allow for those multi-day issuance of meals. With summer feeding, so once the school year ends through summer, which whenever summer ends, so even though those waivers are through September 30th, if you go back to school on August the 9th, I'm just going to pick that day, then basically from the time summer begins through August 9th, you would be able to utilize those waivers. But once the school year begins, you cannot use those summer waivers. So multi-day bundling, if you want to call it that, is allowable for summer operations. But once school year ends, you would have to go back to regular, whatever is going to be released for that, to get that, to get credit for, sorry, now I'm getting confused. I'm reading the chats. So we just need to make sure that we're using those two waivers to get those meals out to kids. And you can, under summer feeding operations, offer, on Saturdays and Sundays and holidays. So you are allowed to still utilize that entire 7 days worth of meals through the use of the summer feeding waivers for the non-congregate feeding and the mealtime flexibility. But once the school year begins, we have no guidance for what that will look like. Looks like we've answered all the questions. It's now 2 o'clock, so I've kept you for about an hour. Please make sure that you go back on to Louisiana Fit Kids, so on the calendar, and click on the today's date, and you will be able to access the survey. It should be available fairly shortly, so you have a week to complete it, and before the link is taken down. So do make sure you complete that to receive credit for attending this presentation, and also any of our other presentations will be handled the same way. So I hope everybody has a really great spring break, really great time off. Hopefully you'll be rested to come back and finish the school year. If you have any other questions, please reach out to us. We would be happy to answer them. And if not, then we will sign off and see you again for some of our other trainings, and also for our next monthly call, which will be the first Thursday of May.